How's it going? Today we're going to work on the Harley. So what we're going to do today is just basically put a forward control kit in which moves these up to here. So instead of sitting like this, all like bunched up and weird, we're going to be sitting like this. That typical Harley cruiser seating position. Make it a bit more comfortable, and because this bike is eventually going to be sold as a product, I wanted to appeal to more people, so this only really appeals to short riders. Like, I'm short, and even this is a bit weird for me. Like, I still take off from traffic lights and put my feet back up and I'm like, where the hell are the pegs? Oh, they're down. So, and as you can see, suspension, it's very, very low. It bottoms out all the time. It's really rough. But that's the thing with Sportsters, from what I've read, pretty much suspension, brakes, and seats is pretty much the main thing people complain about. So we're going to leave the suspension for today. I do have some progressive suspension to put on it, but basically I want to do the front and the rear at the same time. And also, while it's disassembled and the wheels are off, I'll paint them. So don't think we'll have enough time to do that. But today we're just going to focus on moving our controls forwards, and we'll get the kit out and see everything we're going to need. So there is a Zodiac forward control kit. There's a couple of different brands that you can buy. I think there might even be a Harley Davidson one for later models, but this is only an 07, so we've got to work with what fits.
Okay, there's everything we get in the kit. So it pretty much has everything you need, right down to actually having new foot pegs to put on the bike too. So that's pretty cool, although, well, that's not actually it, that's the adapter, because this is the old Clever style. Where did they go? They're in here somewhere, but you've got brake lever, you've got your brackets, there's a clutch lever in here, there, and extension rods. So we'll get it all out, we'll lay it out in front of the bike and assess what we need to unbolt. So this is all the kit comes with. Just not really instructions, it's just this diagram. So what we're going to do is lay out all the parts and bolts together as per the diagram and then transfer that over to the bike. I'm assuming it's going to use these bolt holes up the front, guessing that's what they're for. But yeah, it'll all line up as well and tell us roughly where it's going to want to go. So I imagine, yeah, we'll unbolt that from where it goes and put it up here. Start by removing the foot peg bracket that goes between the engine and the exhaust. Now, to get at the bolts for this, I actually had to loosen off the exhaust, and then I was able to lift the exhaust high enough to get the Allen key at those bolts, because they are in a terrible position. Might be different with the factory exhaust, but with this exhaust, that's what I ended up having to do. Then assembling the linkage rods, attaching it at the rear end where it normally goes, and then it will extend it all the way up to where our brake lever will now be. And up the front here you can see this is just a little blocking plate. So these bolt holes are already there for this kit to be installed, so ready to go. You whip the blocking plate off. I kept the screws in case I needed them, but the kit did come with a set, so much of muchness. But we end up putting the wishbone bracket up here. It's black, but it's the same shape roughly as the factory ones. But it'll bring it, as you can see, it brings it up between the exhaust and where our new setup's going to be. And oh my god, it took so damn long because I couldn't get my ratcheting Allen key in there. I had to use an old school one and just do quarter turn at a time. So yeah. Right, here we go, installing the other eyelet on this end and then putting the brake lever on it and then chuck it straight onto that pivot. So now we simply take our foot peg, install it on the end and stick our pin through, and our circlip will go over the end of the pin to hold it in place. Don't worry too much if the peg's not pointing the right direction, because it should be able to spin freely, and then there'll be an Allen key that you tighten up in the end of it or down the shaft of it if it's a bill well or something like that. But that is this side done. So tightening up all the little bolts, bits and pieces, so we're just finger tight and we're ready to go. So now we whip around to the other side of the bike, bring all the tools over and repeat the process. So to crack that, that was the gear selector bolt, and oh my god, it was covered in Loctite, and it had been binded up by the elements and all sorts of things. So it was very hard to undo. I had to pretty much get that bar on it and undo it the whole way, like full force. You couldn't just free spin it. But anyway, hop under, remove those wishbone looking things that hold the pegs, and the same thing, we're going to be taking that off and then undoing the little locking plate up the front, and that'll be where our new peg holding wishbone shaped thing goes. And yes, wishbone peg foot holder thingy is the correct technical term for that piece. Now I'll start fitting up the peg bracket, and then our gear selector lever will go onto that. I did actually put it on backwards because I'd been looking at it far too long on the floor, and then just hopped straight into it, threw it on the way that it was, and forgot that I was looking at it backwards. So when I had it laid out on the floor, I was looking at it from the other direction and just went, oh yep, throw it on. And then wondered why. I was like, that doesn't seem right. And sure enough, it wasn't. But as you can see there, I had to undo that the entire way. Like, it didn't get looser. I just had to undo it the whole way, and it took a billion years. WD-40 or no. Now you can see our gear selector lever is pointing the right way, which is away from the bike and not towards it. We can go ahead and install our knob. Ha ha ha. And don't be afraid, you can tighten that Allen key all the way up because it's designed with a spacer in it to free spin. Then we can get our linkages ready and fit them up to the actual gear selector on the gearbox. Okay, so we've got it on. Now, what we've done, as I showed you before, pop this off. I haven't done it up yet, so you can just pop that off. That'll allow you to easily maneuver it to get at those bolts. And then all you have to do to set it up, it's probably the best to roughly get at the same angle as the brake. Just roughly get at that same angle with one hand, and then with the other, fit this little fella to this end. Now, I can't do this with one hand on the camera. So, let's see, I might be able to set the camera up behind me. There you go, that'll do. So, hop on the bike. Obviously this is way too high. So what we want to do is just have a quick look at the other side. Get it roughly in position, and then pop that. Oh, I've got it backwards. And because they can flop around on you, it can end up backwards without you even realising. So, there you go. You want to make sure there's enough travel that it won't hit here. It just does there. So we want to go up a little higher to the next tooth. Miles. Doesn't take much. So we'll chuck our locking bolt in here. I'm happy with the placement. Start doing that up. And obviously I'll just pull this pin out, flip that up the right way. There is actually an Allen key there that you can undo it and just spin it, but whatever. Actually, yeah, see, like that. And then just tighten that up. There we go, done. So we'll whip this in. That's it, we're done. All set up and ready to go. The only thing is I lost the circlip for the other side, so I'll have to go and buy one. I don't think I'll find it, it went flying. So unfortunately the circlip they give you for the other one, it's too small for my pliers. I was able to do the big ones but not these, so whatever. Alright guys, that's it, we're done. So I did lose a circlip in the process. As I was trying to get it on there, it went clean and just flew off in the distance.
feeling defeated, I finished everything else and was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to go buy one tomorrow, whatever. And lo and behold, I looked around the shop for a while, couldn't find it on the floor or on the mat, couldn't find it on the couch over there or anything. Didn't really seem to land anywhere, and I just thought, oh, it's gone under the door or down a crack or something. And as I'd given up, I just thought, oh, I'll look over here, I'll show you. There's a towel across one of these work stands, and it literally landed in the middle of that towel. It caught it. So, that's a bit of luck for you. But as you can see, the riding position now is way different and better, in my opinion. It's a Harley, for God's sake. So, oh yeah, that is awesome. As you can see, as I mentioned, this side having that longer peg bracket, I guess you'd call it, that allows your foot to sit out here sort of thing and clear this. Now we are going to get a smaller air intake, but for now that's just what was on it when I bought it. So still nice and comfortable. It's, if anything's going to hit, it's going to be my calf. Just a bit of padding, not the knee bone going bang, bang, bang. The gears feel really good. It's right there. It's just like the Triumph that I had, so I'm very happy with that. Keen to get it on the road and have a ride. Like, this feels so much more comfortable than this. I feel like I'm trying to squat over a bucket or something doing that. Like, yeah, not cool. So that's it. Very easy to do. If it wasn't for the fact that all of my tools were set up metric, and I had to go back to finding Imperial Allen keys and literally going like that and undoing an entire bolt about this long by doing quarter turns at a time. But that was the nature of the beast, just the way it was. We were able to leave the exhaust on and just unbolt it, move it, get in there and get access to those bolts on that side. And this just took some feeling around, but it was easy enough. I reckon you could do it easily under an hour. A trained person would do it under an hour, but once again, one good thing about Sporties is there's just parts available for anything you want to do to it. You want to change the seat? Easy. You want to change your indicators? Easy. Bars? Anything. There'll be a kit for it. Someone makes it. So, huge plus there. This was, once again, a bolting kit. Loved it. That's the Zodiac black forward foot controls. Got that from Easy R in Brisbane. But yeah, they were really helpful through the process and really happy with it. Keen to ride it now.
Hold myself to a chord, waiting for the day that you come back to me.